Let's see, make sure everything's working here. Up 9. We're testing the new configuration. So I just read Jim Huddle's book, and special thanks to Polly Walnuts for sending that to email. I actually got a whole bunch of new books from Polly Walnuts to read through. I think even Hot Prowl is on there. But so far, the best one of all of these, I think, is Jim Huddle's book. And it was kind of... critically received on the pro boards and everywhere else. And people were kind of hard on Jim Huddle. But I don't think that that's fair or accurate. And I think his book's really good. And it's not going over all the same case information that we know. It's the complete opposite side of the case. To see into the personal life of Iran's rather than the offenses. Because before, like Quester said before Iran's was identified that basically all we have of this offender is moments in time or moments in crime, he said. Where the offender materializes from somewhere we're not really sure, he does what he does, and then he disappears and we're not really sure where he went. And the only insight we have into his behavior, his activities, his ways, really, are those periods of time where he's actively committing a crime, and we're going over the crime scene information. Well, now that we've identified the offender, now we have a much greater perspective of the situation, and Jim Huddle's angle on this whole story is the one that hasn't been covered, that nobody's talking about. And I hope he does more interviews, and I hope that that he says more. I wish he would have elaborated more in certain scenes of the book. There's a lot of good dialogue, a lot of good just stories in it. And I wish he would have omitted all the other chapters about other offenders. There's a whole bunch of stuff in there about different serial offenders that he didn't really need to put in, but really he was padding the book. But I think those could be swapped out for more in-depth retellings of times he spent around Joe D'Angelo. But it's the best one. And people were trashing on James Huddle very unfairly, I think. There's just weird, interesting stuff in there. There's stuff in there that would even qualify for Iran's news segments. But I'd have to just be going over the book on the stream. I would like to try to contact Jim Huddle and just see if we can get more info from him. I mean, the book's 5 years old, 6 years old, and it was written at a time before a plea was entered and a conviction was attained. So, I highly recommend it for everybody. Go get that book. Some interesting things in there, and I don't have it open in front of me, was that when Junk Food Joey's daughters would be watching TV and movies and stuff, anytime they would land on anything true crime, he would berate them for it, be like, "Why are you watching that garbage?" Obviously because he's concerned that he's going to come up at some point. Oh, and the other thing I want to say for Jim Huddle is he spends a lot of the book with two major concerns. One of them is, was I ever in any danger, me and my family? And the second was, would I have figured it out if I had known about the FBI press conference and the different... No. I think no to both of those things. I don't think he was in any danger from Iran's, and I don't think he had any chance of figuring that out. And so Hopefully he's less hard on himself these days. But Junk Food Joey encouraged his daughters to watch horror movies, and pour milk out in the grocery store on the floor, and just do antics. And there's a lot of good stories throughout it that would qualify as news. So, special thanks to Pauline Walnuts. I really wanted to go on here to say that. I'm going to go through and see what else was sent over. I think Hot Prowl's in there. Hot Prowl is a disturbing book. We can talk about that another day, I think. I don't know who wrote it, and I can understand why the person that wrote it, Ghost, wrote it. So, well, I need to find a new place for this